Good morning, artists. Mrs. Langless here, and today I am feeling really excited about the fact that we are supposed to get a snowstorm this week, the biggest one that we've had all year, and I love the snow. Not just because it's so beautiful when it's snowing and it's also so fun to go out and play in the snow, but just because I find it so fascinating that all of that snow outside is made up of teeny tiny little snowflakes, and no two of them are the same. To me, that is just so incredibly amazing. So, taking a look right here, you can see some examples of some snowflakes. And although no two snowflakes are alike because of different weather conditions, there are some things that we know to be true about snowflakes. First off, they start with a central crystal or water droplet. The center, you can kind of see in each of these examples. From the center crystal, usually 6 arms are formed on the snowflake. So by arms, what I mean are these lines right here. So you can see that there are 6 of them right here. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. All right. So usually there is a line that comes through the center and then kind of an X that happens on each of them. And you can see that here as well. Now, something else that's interesting about snowflakes is that they have 6 arms, yes, but each of those arms is exactly the same. When something is the same on both sides, it's called symmetric, or something that has symmetry. It's kind of a big word. Let me show you what that word looks like. I'll write it on a piece of paper here if I can find one. So, of course, I can't find one. All right. The word symmetry looks like this. S-Y-M-M-E-T-R-Y. So symmetry means that something is the same on both sides. And some things even are the same top to bottom or even diagonally, like the way that these snowflakes are. So today, to celebrate the snow and also how incredibly interesting snowflakes are, we're going to actually learn how to draw a snowflake of our own. So for this particular project, you will need a piece of drawing paper, and it can be your project paper if you want, or it could just be a regular white piece of paper to get started. You will also need a pencil, of course, to get started with our drawing, and some type of straight edge. So let me tell you what I mean by that. The most common straight edge that we usually use as artists is a ruler. This helps to guide our lines and make it straight. If you don't have a ruler, though, there's lots of different things that you can use. So for example, this is a folder. In fact, it's one of my animal drawing folders all about how to draw a penguin. But what I noticed is it has a straight edge right here. So if I use my pencil along that edge, it's going to make a straight line. So that's the one that I'm going to use today. All right, so I am going to place my paper down here, and I am going to first start by just making a dot in what I think is the center of the paper. That's going to be my central snow crystal, I'm going to kind of imagine. So I think what I like to do is usually use a reference. So I'm going to work on drawing one of these snowflakes right here as we go through step by step. Now keep in mind, your snowflake does not have to look just like mine, okay? Your snowflake can look different. So I am going to, let's see, I think that I will work on drawing this one right here. So I'm going to put this just above as I do my drawing so I can watch and use it as a reference. So although I made a central dot, what I'm going to do is I'm going to make it a little bit bigger. And you'll notice that I'm just kind of making circles, and then I'm going to fill it in. Okay. Now I'm actually going to draw another circle around it. And I'm not too concerned that it's perfect. I'm just kind of going with it. Now, I'm going to start by making my first set of snowflake arms. So I'm going to take my straight edge and I'm going to go right through the center of the circle I made, and I'm going to make a line. So notice how I'm using the straight edge to draw my arms. There it is. Now I have my central 2 arms of my snowflake. Now I'm going to make what looks like an X. So I'm going to take my straight edge, go right through the center again, and make a line and a line. And I'm trying to make this the same length on both sides, but if it's not quite the same length, it's no big deal. So here we are. Now I'm making the other part, which actually is sort of like an X, remember? Crisscrosses over. And there it is. Now, what you can do from here, if you found that some of your legs are not, or arms, I guess I should say, are not quite long enough, you can always come back, or you can shorten them using your eraser. That's up to you. So what I noticed here now is that there are some lines coming down. I also noticed that these lines are thicker. So what I can do is I can come back and thicken them up. So I'm just going to make this a little bit wider. There it is. And make this one wider. So I'm just kind of thickening it up, going from arm to arm here. Okay, now my arms are looking a little bit wider. Fantastic. This one still looks a bit long. All right, that looks better. All right, now I'm going to add the other lines. So what I notice is that this one kind of points down like this, almost like an arrow. And then I'm going to do another one right here. And again, instead of it being a thin line, I'm just going to come back over and make it thicker. All right, I could even make it thicker if I wanted to, but I think I'm going to stop there. All right, now what I notice, because this is symmetrical, remember it has symmetry, each one of the arms is going to be the same. So sometimes what I like to do is I like to actually turn my paper and do it on each of the arms. I'm just going to keep on going. Now, a great place to find different snowflakes is actually doing a Google search. If you do an image search on Google for snowflakes, it's going to bring up some really incredible examples. So they can be more simple than this one. They could be more intricate or detailed. So choose a reference that works for you. Or maybe you could even use one of the references here that I just showed you. Whatever you add, just make sure that you add it on every single arm of your snowflake so that it's symmetric. All right, I'm almost done. On to that 6th arm here. All right, now, there is my snowflake. Now, what I can do, let's say that, yeah, I like the snowflake, but it's just not quite cool enough or interesting enough or beautiful enough. So I want to add a little bit more. So what I can do now is come back and really start to pick up some other details. Like I like how each of these has a little circle on the tip of the arm. So what I'm going to decide to do is I'm going to come back and I'm just going to make a circle. And again, doesn't matter what you add, as long as you add it to every one, which makes it symmetric. Now I think I'm going to actually add another circle here because there's that space and it just feels like that would look really nice. So I'm going to keep on going. And there's my snowflake. I think I'm going to thicken up this central circle that I made too to make it look like the others. All right. And there's my snowflake. Now, what I'm going to do to make my snowflake really stand out is I'm just going to take a black marker, or you could use a colored marker if you wanted. And I'm going to trace my lines, going over it to make it thicker. And make it really stand out. So, when you're all finished, you will have a snowflake that is fully traced. I have some other examples, so I'm not going to have you sit through me tracing the entire thing, but working on tracing all of your lines so that your snowflake really shows up. Now, I have a couple other examples I'll just show you that I worked on. Here's one actually that's very similar. You can see it's got that central crystal, and I've got the lines, but on this one I've added more of those kind of arrow points here with circles at the end. Here's the same version, but I thickened up the lines. Okay, actually this one only has two. Ooh, look at this one. This is one of my favorites, and here it is. This one's all traced and ready to go. I think I held it this way actually. It's a little bit too big for the camera screen. So there it is. So tracing all your lines, and then next week we are going to work on adding color, and I'm going to give you a couple of different options for that that are really fun. So enjoy designing your own beautiful snowflake and enjoy the wonderful snow that we have out there as well. Have a great week, and I will see you next time.